Welcome. So this is the second part of a series I've been working on for Advent. Last week we explored the quality of hope. This evening we'll be exploring the quality of peace. And we invite peace into our hearts because we have this relationship with Jesus. But we also approach peace kind of from a yogic perspective, inviting in kind of the sister quality of equanimity, meaning because of yoga and because of our faith, we can make peace with whatever arises. So let's dive in and do some yoga. Oh, I forget to mention, for this practice, we'll be ending with some more restorative poses. So it'd be good to have either some bed pillows, a bolster. I have a bolster somewhere behind me, 2 blocks and a blanket, and that should be fine for me. So you might want to gather up some props similar to this. So whenever you're ready, we'll meet you back on your back. So starting in our alternate rest pose, we'll bend the legs, have the feet be a little wider than the knees. Just a place where your low back can relax. Maybe resting your arms by your sides, palms turned up towards the sky. We begin by just checking in, noticing how our bodies come to the mat today. Noticing your mind, your thoughts, and noticing your heart. And then just beginning to deepen your breath. As you inhale, maybe you bring in the quality of a lightness, spaciousness. As you exhale, maybe you bring in the quality of surrender. Just letting go of all the little details and just truly arriving for your mat here for some time with God. Inhaling lightness, spaciousness. Exhaling, just surrendering into this moment. And as you continue to breathe deeply, just arriving through your practice, I'd like to offer you a reading. And this brings in part of the birth story of Jesus. And this is from the Passion Translation, Luke 8 through 14. So again, just breathe deeply, arriving for your practice as you just let these verses wash over you. That night, in a field near Bethlehem, shepherds were watching over their flocks. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord appeared in radiant splendor before them, lighting up the field with the blazing glory of God, and the shepherds were terrified. But the angels reassured them, saying, "Don't be afraid, for I have come to bring you good news, the most joyous news the world has ever heard. And it is for everyone, everywhere. For today in Bethlehem, a rescuer was born for you. He is the Lord Yahweh, the Messiah. You will recognize him by the miraculous sign. You will find a baby wrapped in strips of cloth and lying in the feeding trough." Then all at once in the night sky, a vast number of glorious angels appeared, the very armies of heaven. And they all praised God, saying, "Glory to God in the highest realms of heaven, for there is peace and a good hope given to the sons of man." moment to just envision this scene. Maybe imagine how the shepherds felt to be approached by this angel. They were told to not be afraid. They were told that there was peace and a good hope given to the sons of men. The peace that only Jesus could bring. So when you're ready to bring in physical movements, we'll just set our feet up underneath our knees, our arms by our sides. Our physical practice, I aim to kind of bring a little ease and peace to some of those common areas in the body that tend to hold tension. So we'll start with a simple pelvic tilt. As you inhale, lift the belly, hips stay down. As you exhale, press the back, the belly, the feet. Inhale, tip that pelvis forward, lift the belly, maybe roll your palms up. Exhale, press the belly down, tip the pelvis back. Keep moving with your breath. Inhaling this quality of light and spaciousness. Exhaling, maybe surrendering a little tension in your back as your back slightly grows longer. And when that feels good, come back to neutral. We'll take our arms out into a T, and we'll start to create just a little warming, a little piece perhaps around the neck. So just start by lightly rocking your head from side to side, no force there. And then maybe next time you look toward your right hand, you roll your left palm down towards the mat, just creating a little bit more opening across the chest and the neck. And then take it to the other side. Roll that left palm up, gaze towards it, roll the right palm down. Breathe. One more time, each side flip palms. Gaze at the open right palm, relax both of your shoulders. Flip the left palm, gaze at it, relax. And then maybe lovingly take your left hand and massage a bit in through the right side of the neck. Any way that feels good. Inviting this quality of peace. And maybe that peace means you're just accepting your body just as it is. When that feels complete, you can take your right hand, massage it to the left side of your neck. Maybe you gaze right. And when that feels complete, let it go. Take your arms down a little lower, and we'll give ourselves a little hug for the lower body. So drawing one knee and the other in towards your chest, and be crossing the ankles and circling your knees. Breathing deeply. And making peace with our bodies, just as we find them tonight, today, whenever you're practicing. And when that feels complete, let's hold just the left knee in, set the right leg down. Start with that leg to a bend, make sure you're comfortable. And maybe we move just a little bit with our breath. So as you inhale, draw that knee away a little bit. feel your ribs lift just a little bit. As you exhale, hug it in. Feel that lengthening happening in the lower part of the spine. Inhale, draw it away. Little lift in the upper ribs. Lifting, brightening. Exhale, drawing in, surrendering, relaxing through the lower spine. One more time. And when that feels complete, lower the right leg down towards earth. Feel the weight of your bones here, just a little bit heavier, a softness across the face, the jaw. And then warming a little bit more into the hip. If it feels okay, hold on to your foot or your ankle, your shin, your knee, and create a little rocking here from side to side, opening that left hip. Maybe you make little circles, whatever feels good in your body. Another chronic area of tension through those hips, so be kind, be gentle. And then maybe it feels good to take that right ankle, the left ankle to meet the right thigh, moving that knee away. Listening to your body again, making peace with where it is. This might be right where you stay, or you could draw the leg in to kind of linger here, or only if you're feeling it, you can take those arms and wrap them around that right thigh. Again, if this causes tension in the upper body, then we're not really making peace with anything, so we want to kind of let go to the level that serves us. Take a few more deep breaths. Maybe you feel like rocking, maybe stillness serves you. And when you're ready, release, unravel. We'll take it to the other side. So let's hug the right knee in, and we'll move a little bit. As we inhale, draw the knee away, the ribs lift, the pelvis stays down. Exhale, hug in even more. Tailbone lengthens downward. Inhale, draw away, lift upper ribs, brightness. Exhale, draw it in, surrendering. One more time. And then when you're ready, lower that left leg down towards the earth. Relax the shoulders. Find a little stillness in your body, your mind. And then when you're ready, we'll cradle that leg any way that serves. Ankle, shin, foot, knee. Just a gentle rock, maybe a circle. And when that feels complete, you could either stay with that if that feels really good, or take that right ankle to meet the left thigh. Relax the right knee. And listen to your body. Maybe your body wants to stay here. Lift that left foot. Again, only wrapping the arms around the left thigh if the head, neck, and shoulders can stay nice and relaxed. Deep breath. When you're ready, let it go, unravel. Just take a breath or two. Notice your body, your mind, your heart. I'm going to open a little bit into the front of the thighs. Again, try to find some balance in our physical practice. In general, we want to open the front of the body and strengthen the back of the body. So we're going to roll onto our left side. Support your head with your arm. And we're going to be stretching our right quadricep and our hip flexor. So if you're a little tighter here, you could grab a tie, or you could just kind of be in this particular shape. If it's okay in your back, you can catch that ankle and try to draw the hip forward. We're also opening a little bit in the chest here. So just find your way into a little opening in the front of that thigh, staying relaxed through the upper body. When you're ready, release it. You might just turn to get to the other side. I'm going to turn my whole self so that I can stay facing you. So again, you want to stay nice and relaxed with your upper body. You might even put a pillow underneath you. And if you can't comfortably catch that leg, you can use a strap or a tie. So holding that foot if you can. Relaxing into the upper body, creating that opening in the left side of the chest, in the left side of the thigh. Use your deep breath. And whenever you're ready, we're going to release that leg, and we're just going to roll onto our bellies here. So we just kind of softened into those hip flexors. We can come into a Sphinx pose, hands, elbows, shoulders aligned, feet actively reaching back. So we're still opening the front of the hips, that's the legs, but opening our heart, strengthening a little bit into the back of the heart. Take a moment to breathe. If this posture doesn't serve you, you can be a little bit lower or just come down into your crocodile type shape. Recalling as we move towards Advent, we're preparing our heart, so to speak, for the arrival of Jesus. And whenever you're ready, you can stretch our body long, can hold opposite elbows, curl those heels in, little rinse or wiper action, another release for the front of the thighs. And then if it feels comfortable, just take a moment to rest. Widen your toes as wide as your mat. You can wiggle those hips again. Surrender that forehead down onto the forearms, coming into Crocodile Pose. And if it doesn't serve you to be on your belly, you could always come into Child's Pose, or come back on your back and simply rest. Let's deepen our breath here. Feel the radiance, the fullness of your inhale, a sense of letting go as you exhale. And whenever you're ready, taking those hands underneath the shoulders, we'll press our bodies up and make our way into child's pose. So widening those knees, maybe touching the toes, hips moving back towards heels, surrendering that forehead down to the mat. If it doesn't comfortably reach, you can always bring a pillow or a blanket underneath your forehead. You notice we're taking a nice, gentle approach to our practice today. So I encourage you to stay in your child's pose and really breathe deeply as I offer you just a few more verses. It's one of my favorite verses. This is from John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. And this is directly from Jesus to the disciples. Again, he tells them not to be troubled and do not be afraid. He's offering peace that is unconditional, as opposed to the peace that the world sometimes offers that comes with conditions. Linger in your child's pose and just contemplate this one more verse from John, this time 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Jesus never promises that we wouldn't experience trials and difficulties. He encourages us to look to him, the one who has conquered the world. By faith, we put our hope in Jesus, the overcomer, and it's in that hope that we find peace. Whenever you're ready, come to your hands and your knees. And maybe just take a few rounds of your cat and cow. As you inhale, belly drops, heart and tail lift. As we exhale, we arch, draw that belly up. Stay with your deep breath as you use your body here to pray. Seeking this relationship with Jesus. And it's in him that we find this unconditional love that leads to peace. And whenever that feels complete to you, we'll be transitioning to standing. So we'll just transition for a quick downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Inhale, lift those hips up to the sky. Find any little movements that serve you here. You can bend your knees, you can pedal those feet, sway the hips. Finding peace in our downward facing dog. And whenever you're ready, mindfully walk your feet forward towards your hands. Our knees are soft, and we slowly Rise on up to come to a mountain pose. So in your mountain, get comfortable and grounded. Your feet as wide as they want to be. Maybe you place your hands in prayer over your heart, or one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Find your mountain. Maybe close your eyes as you stand tall and allow these words from Romans 5, 1 through 10 to wash over you. Therefore, since we have been justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. Through him, we have also obtained access by faith into this grace in which we stand. This grace in which we stand. And we justify in hope of the glory of God. More than that, we rejoice in our suffering, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. We have obtained access by faith into this grace in which we stand. When you're ready, relax your arms, and we'll just move our spine in its different directions so your feet at least as wide as your hips. We'll reach up to the sky towards God. Just take a very full breath here in this gesture of reaching up. In faith and hope. And then left arm comes by the side, right arm reaches up, and just take that lateral side bend. Breathe a little deeper, creating more spaciousness into the right side of your ribs. All the way down to the right foot to the fingertips. When you're ready, inhale, rise up. And take it over to the other side for your lateral side bend on the other side. Using your breath to create this spaciousness, this brightness, this light and peace within your body. Rise on up. Exhale down. Maybe widen those feet just a touch. And we'll come right into little unevenness underneath me. Let's actually take a back bend. So we'll interlace our hands behind us. We can also take our hands into the low back, fists, whatever serves you. You can try this variation. And this is just really gentle. So start rooting your pelvis forward, your belly, your heart. You're opening that heart for the peace of God to pour down into it. When you're ready, mindfully come back up. Release the arms, and we'll go right into a little twist. So one heel lifts up and then the other. The arms can just swing from side to side. Or maybe we take one hand to the heart, one hand back behind us. Looking around. just contemplating the peace in all of God's creation, given to all of us. When that feels complete, slow it on down. Come back to your mountain and just take a moment to stand tall. Sensing that grace, that peace within you. Relax your arms. And we're just going to do a few standing poses today. So really taking a gentle approach to our practice. So next inhale, reach on up. Exhale, take a step back with your left foot. So we're going to stagger our feet maybe as wide as the mat. We're going to start with nice straight-ish legs. So hips feel grounded. And then if it feels okay in your shoulders, we're going to take our arms and clasp opposite elbows. You can just kind of take a looser clasp, clasping your wrists, whatever serves you here. So nice open heart. So we're going to create a little flow between our stargazer and our forward bend or pyramid. So taking low back bend, low forward fold. So next inhale, lift that heart up any amount. Exhale, fold forward. Keep it flowing. Inhale, lifting up, stargazer, the grandeur of the night sky. Exhaling, folding forward. Maybe contemplating the shepherds as you inhale, the wonder, the joy they saw meeting the angels. Exhaling, maybe the humility that they felt when they met baby Jesus. Can you embody these qualities too as you move through your season? Then we're going to bend into that front knee. You can take your hands to your hips. And maybe you just take your hands to rest in your low back. Again, this gesture of humility, humble warrior. Or you could wrap those arms around, whatever your body feels like doing. Humble warrior. Humble servants of God. And when you're ready, rise up, reach those arms to the sky, bend into that front knee. We're still in our warrior one. Feel this gesture of reaching up in wonder and awe towards God. Feel this pose as an opportunity to pray. When you're ready, relax those arms. We'll step the left foot forward to meet the right. Take a moment in your mountain. And then we'll step the right foot back, left foot forward. Find that stagger between your feet. Evenness in the hips, evenness, rootedness in the feet. We'll take those hands again and maybe just hold wrists, hold elbows, part forward. With your own breath, move from your stargazer as you inhale, your pyramid pose as you exhale. Just like the shepherds, as you inhale, embodying wonder, awe, peace of God. Exhaling the peace that comes with humility. Next time you fold forward, linger there. Take a breath. And then bending into that front knee, we'll just transition into a humble warrior. Could be right here. We could take the hands into the low back. We could wrap those arms around any amount. Humble warriors. Whenever you're ready, mindfully rise up. And in praise, reach up. Warrior one, bent into that front knee. Revealing your heart to God. Prayer really just means we're coming into relationship with God. When you're ready, relax those arms, step forward again into your mountain. Stand tall. Stand strong in your faith. Relax those arms. And let's see, I'm gonna face you, I guess, this time. So when thinking of this practice and peace and equanimity, I thought it would be important to include a balanced posture so we can just make peace with whatever happens in our balanced posture. I think balances are really good for that. So actually I think I'll turn this way so I have a little more space. So get grounded in your mountain. You can stop at any level here. This is your practice. We'll start by coming onto the left tippy toe. We might just stay here or draw that knee in. Arms up towards sky. Inviting God, Jesus into our practice. We might stay with this shape, or we might start opening that knee up for a version of tree pose. Arms anywhere they want to go. Stay rooted. Or, coming back to that idea of opening our hips, we could get a hold of that left foot, reach the right hand to the sky. Maybe you keep the hand onto the other side of the foot. Again, you could be staying in your tree or your single knee down balance, or you could come into this dancer pose. Find a little kick back into that foot. Imagine you're reaching towards God, and He's right there for you, even if you feel wobbly. Whenever you're ready, let it go. Give it a little shake. And when you're ready, coming into your balance on the other side. So we can start by just coming onto that right tippy toe, offering it up to God. Maybe drawing that knee in. We might stay right there, or we could open it up into our tree. Whatever shape of tree feels just right to you. Keep staying rooted, lifting that heart. And then only if you feel guided, you could move into your dancer pose. Clasping that right ankle, reaching the left arm up. Taking that hand, maybe wrapping it around the other side of the foot if that serves you. Stay right here. You could be back in either version of the balance, or you could reach forward a little bit or kick back into that back foot. And imagine you're reaching out for God. mountain with this gratitude, this invitation for peace to move into your body, your practice, your mind. Next inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Come down to hands and knees. Maybe just move those hips from side to side, a little release for the outer hips. And we're going to lower down onto our bellies, where we'll work just a little bit of strength into that back body. So stretch back with the toes. If it feels okay, stretch forward. Frame. Reach forward with your hands. As we inhale, we'll create a little cross pattern. Reach left foot up, right hand forward and up. Exhale down. Inhale, right foot, left hand. Exhale down. Keep it going, this little cross pattern. And we're creating length rather than height here. And if this feels like too much for you, you could just be relaxing your upper body and doing your lower body. And strengthening our container, so to speak. When that feels like it's enough, take a little break, maybe just a breath or two in your crocodile. And then we're going to work a little bit more strength, this time specifically for the middle back. We're going to take our arms into this kind of cactus shape. Staying active with those toes reaching back. Next, inhale, lift the upper body. Keep your gaze down, squeeze shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, lower. Just a few more times with your own breath, creating some strength in the back of your heart. Maybe you hold at the top for a breath or two, or you rest, your call. Then we'll all lower down. We'll use our hands to press our bodies up and take a little balancing child's pose. Use this time to pray, offer anything up to God. And whenever you're ready, come up to find a seated position and bring in some support for yourself. You might sit up on a blanket. Find your comfortable seat, reaching the crown of the head towards sky, shoulders relaxing. And before we come into some final poses to prepare us for our restorative part of our practice, I'd like to offer you a verse to just ponder on. And this is from Philippians 4, 6 to 7. And it says, Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your minds in Jesus Christ. I just love that verse. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your minds in Jesus Christ. We'll keep that verse with us as we transition into our bound ankle here. So I like a little support underneath me for this pose. If you don't, you can slide it on out. But our feet are joining, knees are opening, our spine is lengthening, our hearts are still open to connect with God. Take a few full breaths right here. And then when you're ready, take your feet just a little bit wider, more like a star shape. In this one, we can lengthen our spine and fold forward. Again, not striving, just simply coming into a shape that provides some sensation in the outer thighs. When you're ready, come on up. Bring those knees together. Here's where sometimes I prefer to come off of my blanket, so you might do the same. We're going to winch your way for our legs a little bit from side to side. Nice little release for those hips. And then allow that to take you into a bit of a twist. So your knees fall to the left. You can kind of bring your legs a little closer together. Your right hand comes on your hip. Your left fingertips come to the back of your mat and take that gaze to the left. Big, big breath, filling into the low back, kidneys. And then take it on over to the other side. Your knees fall to the right. Left hand on the hip, right fingertips pointing to the back of the mat. Take that twist. Deepen your breath. And when you're ready, come back to center. So here's where those pillows and props are going to come in. So those past few poses were kind of a prep to move us into a hip opener, a forward bend, and a twist. One of my favorite restorative poses called deer pose. So you can either set your bed pillows up right in front of you. I've got my bolster, and I'm also going to use my blanket up at the top. So a couple different leg positions. You could take the deer legs, which means your right leg comes into a triangle and then your left leg comes into this back triangle. If this ends up being too much for you, I'll show you another option. So we want our props to be pretty close to us. We're going to turn towards the prop and then we're going to lie down over it. And the head is going to naturally go to the left or to the right. Most people will go to the left. So you just relax. Now, if the legs feel uncomfortable, another pillow here, you could take the legs just together, but it's nice to have a pillow or a blanket underneath you there. So whatever variation serves you. The idea is that you want to find a position, a shape that you can maintain and relax. You're going to hold it for just a few moments. Moving into that place of stillness. In that stillness, you can truly come into the presence of God to meet with Jesus here on our mats. Breathing deeply. And just let these words from Philippians 4:6-7 wash over you. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Jesus Christ. Whenever you're ready, use your hands to mindfully press you up. And you might just turn yourself around. I'm going to take my whole self around so you can see me a little bit better. But you can just turn yourself around. So now your left hip is up against that bolster. We turn ourselves towards the bolster and we surrender down again. You can have your deer legs going on or have your legs together, maybe with a pillow between them. Turning the head to either side, completely relaxing the shoulders, like you're just melting down into your props. Really feel that breath move into the back body. And inhales, bringing some lightness. Exhaling, surrendering. Considering what do you need to surrender to move a little closer to Jesus at this time of year. Maybe it's some of your busyness. Maybe it's any judgments that you have about your faith and your relationship with God and His people, your family. Could you just use these next couple weeks to draw a little closer to Him? To bring in the peace that Jesus brought as a gift to us into your heart. And when you're ready, using your hands to gently press you up. If you really want to linger a little longer in some of these restorative poses, feel free to hit that pause button. So now, if you have a prop set up kind of like mine, you can just leave it right there. You're going to come into our last restorative pose, reclining bound angle. We're going to take our blocks, if we have them, or some extra pillows. We're going to lay back onto our bolster or our pillows. Keep just a little space between. And make sure you've got something comfortable for your head to land on. And you can join your feet and open your knees onto your blocks or your pillows. Really allow that heart to melt open, the shoulders to roll open, palms to face up towards sky. And if this situation doesn't work well for your hips, you can always turn your legs the other way, knees together, feet wide. And making peace with our bodies. And revealing your heart here. How could you bring a little bit more light into your own life, into your own heart? And making peace with your own self, your own God. So then you can bring that illumination, that light, that peace out into the world. these final moments of relaxation, you choose. Your body might feel at peace right here. You might choose to straighten your legs out and stay on your props. It can be very hard opening. Or you might choose to take any props or pillows out and set up in a more traditional Shavasana. Just allow your body to move into this place of relaxation. Finding peace within your body, within your mind, within your heart. And as you settle into Shavasana, I'd like to just offer you this final verse. I love this verse from Ephesians 4:2-6. It points towards keeping unity through the bond of peace. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Jesus brought us this message, this bond of peace. Just remain here in Shavasana as long as you have time for. Surrounded by this light, this love, this peace that comes from knowing your Father and trusting in Jesus Christ. Linger here, my friend.